Hey, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another video. Now today I'm actually at Ant's Community Garage, and you may be wondering why it's kind of echoey, and I'm actually in the back office because it's pretty loud out there and it feels like every time I turn the camera on, some weird noise is happening in the background. So I thought, just for the preface of this intro, I'll make sure to provide you guys with a quick update, and then we'll go out there and I'll show you what we're gonna be doing with the car today. So we're gonna be working on my 1997 Honda Civic hatchback, and if you guys haven't seen the previous video on this car, I'd really recommend checking it out, and I'll make sure to leave a link above. Now, in the last video that I had on this car, I was telling you guys about the big plans that I have with this Civic, particularly talking about the next steps in terms of either doing a turbo D-Series or a K-Series, and I was actually pleasantly surprised to see how many people were interested in us doing a D-Series turbo build on this car. I do think that since the single cam engine is still in really good shape, it would be kind of a shame just to scrap it just to put a K-Series motor like a lot of other creators do. I do think the platform has a lot of potential with the D-Series, and it's just a matter of kind of fiddling and figuring things out. Even when I was here today, there was somebody else in the bay that had a second generation CRX, and we were just talking very loosely about upgrading a cam, and he was showing me what he did with the Civic, and that actually looks really great. But I do want to consider having to have the wait time as well. So as long as you guys are patient with me a little bit, because I'm waiting to hear back from Max Speeding Rods because they are currently out of stock with their turbo kit. And I would love to be able to have the opportunity to work with them because I've actually worked with them in the past. So what I actually have on the list today is actually suspension related. So we're not going to be doing anything with the drivetrain, but I think this is something that's long overdue. So what we're going to be doing is installing a set of TrueHeart subframe bracing as well as the rear lower control arms. This is really to stiffen up the rear and also give me the ability to run a rear sway bar. So on these old Civics, especially the EK hatchbacks, they don't have any place for you to be able to mount up a rear sway bar because you're going to need the end links, you're going to need the hardware, and then you're going to need a place to mount the sway bar itself. And unfortunately for people that do this, you need to make sure that you have some sort of subframe reinforcement, or else you run the risk of tearing the actual subframe itself. And then that leads to a whole nother patch job that is really not intended for any of us to be doing with this. So this is gonna be preventative maintenance in a sense, but it will also stiffen up the rear. And again, this is something that we'll take to the track and test in real time to see how much of a difference it makes. Stiffening up the rear in a Civic, it kind of makes it turn and have more rear-wheel drive characteristics. So instead of having understeer where you're kind of plowing into the turn, hopefully this will stiffen things up in the rear and you'll get almost like a rear-wheel drive characteristic where the car will start to oversteer. Now, before we get into the video, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor for today, Aura. As someone that makes car videos on the internet, I know firsthand the importance of prioritizing online security, and Aura for the past couple months has had me covered. With Aura, you can protect your online privacy and security with just a few clicks. And one feature that I really love about Aura is their built-in password manager. With Aura's password manager, you can autofill your most often used passwords, making it easier than ever before to access your account securely. And here's the best part, Aura can even change your password for you on select websites with just one click. It's seriously like magic. Plus, Aura keeps your data private by blocking ads, trackers, and malicious sites automatically, so not only are you protected from online threats, but you also have peace of mind knowing that your personal information is secure. Whether you're streaming your favorite shows, shopping online, or just browsing the web, Aura seamlessly protects your data without slowing you down. So with that being said, I want to give a huge thank you to Aura for sponsoring today's video, but now we can get back into the Honda content. All right, let's open these bad boys up. So I believe these are going to be the rear lower control arms in this box. Again, pretty straightforward. This is the chrome polished finish. And I got this to match the subframe brace as well. As you can see, it's very nice and reflective in the light. It looks really wonderful. The bushings, I don't think these are spherical bushings, but it will definitely be an upgrade from OEM. So this is a very nice acquisition. We have the TrueHeart logo right on the top as well. And it's got a pretty hefty weight to it. So it's got some rigidity there for sure. It's not super lightweight, but you want that, especially in suspension components like this. So now we'll slide this over and I'll take a peek over at the subframe bracing. So this comes with the hardware that you're gonna want on top. And I believe this is just gonna be your conventional bolts. So I see the longer ones are probably gonna be for the sides where it connects, and then the other stuff in the middle is gonna be what's helping us reinforce that. And again, just the fact that I was able to get this matching is gonna be a really nice touch. There's so many different subframe braces on the market, but I would say the True Heart is definitely up there when it comes to one of the best in the biz, when it comes to just overall finish and quality. I mean, you can see how reflective this is in the light. It looks absolutely wonderful. So this is gonna look really nice on the undercarriage of the car. Now it's just a matter of getting this stuff installed. I'll have to spend some time here and see which bolt goes where, but I think even just having this out, you can easily figure out which ones are going to be the ones that align. And then, yeah, and then you just take it from there. Since there's gonna be nothing there in terms of bracing from the factory, we're essentially gonna be mocking this up. And once we have the car up in the lift, it'll be much easier for you guys to see. Got this thing up in the air, but now this is a little concerning. Alistair and I were just taking a peek, and it looks like somebody actually did run some sort of sway bar, or maybe this is just the metal crumbling on its own, but that doesn't look super great. I could reinforce it or have to re-weld this, but I mean, this metal is really, it's like paper thin. There's absolutely nothing there. Wait, Alistair, you still got that piece of the subframe? Oh, you chuck it in the bin? Because I mean, it's just astounding like how thin it is.
Yeah, it goes away.
It's just like nothing's there.
It can't be stronger because you don't have a motor.
Are you making fun of my slow car?
No, I would not.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna at least just try and mock this thing up, see how it looks. Well, at least we could do the lower control arms right now. I think this will still line up. It should be okay. Here's a quick mock-up, see how this will look. I think I'll have to lower this back down and take the wheels off, unfortunately, just to get to that back bolt, but it's gonna look really cool, regardless if we can put the bracing or not. But I think it'll be okay, but man, this metal sucks. I'm gonna spray these down just in case. A little bit of penetrating oil, because it looks like they've never been touched. Okay, there's that. This should swing down now. Whoop. Make sure to keep these all in one piece. You want to make sure you don't mess up or move any of this. So I'm gonna put these two washers on this like so. Now let's take this guy out. And this looks very original. Very, very original. Now here's what the old lower control arm looks like. Not too bad. Actually, the bushings look okay. Here, let me get the new one though. Now check this out. All right, so it looks very different. And it's gonna mock up just like so. I'll slide it in, get it all mounted up. It's gonna be nice and shiny. I'll get this all nice and cleaned up too, but very, very excited for this one. So here's the new, here's the old. Weight-wise, relatively, well, actually this one feels tremendously lighter. It's pretty heavy, steel. So I'm actually gonna hold off on putting this last bolt. I'll just use it to align things. I think it should go pretty smoothly. Push this up here. This is gonna take a little bit of finessing. Could even use a skinny screwdriver to get it in between. Ooh, they're so shiny. Man, just aesthetically, it looks insane. Getting this lined up might be a little bit nightmarish. And the last thing you wanna do is you wanna blast this with the gun and cross thread it. So you really wanna make sure you line this up correctly. I'm gonna also work on getting this lined up. I think I'll just leave it loose for now and we'll finish everything up right at the end. Gotta get this guy up. Might even need to use a pole jack, unless I take this out. And then I worry more about getting this aligned. This is gonna be a little tricky because I need to get both of these washers in, but I'm gonna send it and see what happens. Okay, and out the other side. Okay, we got that lined up. How's that look? That looks pretty good. I think it's threaded in, but I gotta double check. Feels pretty good though. All right, nice. Okay, so we got the rear lower control arms in. Everything is nice and loose because I don't want to finalize anything because I think we're gonna have to swap out these to be just slightly longer and use the hardware that was provided with the subframe brace. But this will give you an idea. It went pretty smooth except for this one bolt over here, but it just was a matter of taking off this little plastic backing. And Alistair helped me out with getting this one aligned. But luckily there's a taper on the bolt, so it shouldn't give you too many issues there. So now it's just moving on to the subframe brace itself. Okay, so one thing to mention too is you're gonna wanna use the new hardware because you see the lengths are astronomically different. So this is gonna be much taller, it's gonna give you more bite. This bolt isn't tapered though, which is kind of interesting. You kind of need taper bolts in this situation, but I guess we're just gonna find out and mess about here. So I'm gonna take this one off on this passenger side. I got these lined up. You definitely wanna make sure to do that and we'll see how this looks all all nice and shiny. Very, very nice. Okay, so I got everything installed. About to close up shop here, but I did want to give you guys a quick update on the way it looks. I did have a little bit of trouble here. As you can see that there is a bolt missing in the top on this side, and then there's a bolt missing in the middle here. And it's because this subframe was actually already torn, and it could be for so many different factors, but the sheet metal itself is so thin that it was just bound to happen, which is very unfortunate. But it looks mad, it looks great. The chrome polish finish, it really adds a whole nother dimension to the car, especially when you're looking from the back. So it's just a matter of getting this thing on the ground, and maybe I can give you guys a better look once it's all ready to go the next day. All right, now I got some really bad news for the Civic. This car has developed a really bad misfire. It was right after I just did the installation on the way home, it started misfiring really horribly. Almost feels like it's running on 3 cylinders. There's a flashing check engine light. Typically when the check engine light comes on, it's supposed to only just stay illuminated, but this time around it's flashing. So I need to investigate further. I'm not too worried about it just yet. You know, it could be something as simple as it's just been sitting for a while. I haven't been driving it as much because I've just been focused on the E36. But I did at least want to show you guys what it looks like underneath. And I mean, from a distance, you don't see it too much. And now you can also see that there's a little bit of a leak developing in the trunk. So what I did is I drilled a hole a while back at autocross, and it's slowly weeping its way out, but there's still a little bit of moisture getting on the inside. So this is just coming with the territory of working on old cars. I'm not too worried about it, but as you guys know with my format, I typically do these installations and then we take it out on a point of view drive, but I just don't think that that's gonna happen today, unfortunately. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video overall. I do think that, you know, in the short time that I was able to just sputter it home, I didn't really get a chance to feel the difference that all this bracing in the rear actually did on the car. So I'm gonna have to save it for another opportunity, maybe once we get this thing back and running. The crazy thing is I actually have a bunch of D-series stuff. I think I even have a full distributor with everything, the plugs, wires, and all that. So I'll probably give that a shot. But in the meantime, I do really appreciate you guys checking out today's video. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk soon.